Mr. Muslim, can you just introduce yourself to us again in the intention of sound check, and that will aim to speak for a minute, please.
Okay, yeah, I am from Pakistan. I would not like to disclose my information. We had a conversation yesterday about the preservation of Quran, and I made the statement that whatever you have shown me, I will recheck it, I will verify it, and so now here am I again. I am again for the conversation to get continued.
Yeah, your sound from my side looks all right, but I am hearing echo.
Yeah,
So you need to make sure the moment you are not speaking, Mr. Muslim, your mic is muted. And if YouTube is on, please make sure YouTube is off as well. It will be helpful for the quality of the sound and recording. Okay, so yesterday, let me first pass on Brother Jay. Jay, would you like to bring up the questions we asked from yesterday, and then we pause them again,
Yes.
and then hopefully we will get some response.
Yes. First of all, I just want to bring to the attention of the brothers and sisters in the Lord in the chat, if you guys could please pray. You guys can see there's issues going on, and pray that God's will be done, and we have a fruitful discussion with Mr. Muslim today, as we did yesterday. So to recap, our topic yesterday with you, Mr. Muslim, was about whether there are different versions of the Quran in Arabic, and you stated that if there are different versions of the Quran in Arabic, then that is, if you could just mute your mic while I'm talking, please, just so we don't have sound issues. If there are different versions of the Quran in Arabic, that would be problematic. That would be problematic to the view or version of Islam that you were brought up with, that you were taught by your scholars, your sheikhs, your imams, and so we brought you an example where, and you were able to read it for us in the Arabic, and you were able to see there's a difference between the book that Hatun showed from her camera, and we also showed you a link as well to confirm. You said you were going to follow up on that, and you were going to confirm that if there are actual different versions of the Quran in Arabic, then you have been misled by your scholars, and you would say that would be problematic and to have errors like that in the Quran.
Okay, so thank you very much for that, brother. Mr. Muslim, since yesterday it's been 24 hours or 23 hours, what do you have for us today?
Yeah, so I did went to my imam in the mosque, and he is not a scholar, he is just a prayer leader, he is a Maulvi, and I showed the screenshot about that, and I asked him whether it is true that the Quran is perfectly preserved all over the world and there are no differences whatsoever, and he actually replied me that that's not possible, and he was not willing to accept that. And he also claimed that there are differences in dialects, and he actually recited some of that. And he said it is not possible that the words can be intermingled. And he also said that it's a challenge that if you copy Quran, if you write it, and you will, it is such a miracle that you will not be able to make any mistake. And so furthermore, I even checked through some of the scholars on YouTube. For example, Shehzad Salim, he's a renowned scholar in Pakistan, and he confirmed that there are differences. The differences like differences in plural, singulars, verbs, and all that. And yeah, that was a bit problematic, but I'm going to say is that there can be a possibility that the traditional point of view that the Muslims are holding, it can be wrong, but for that, Quran and Islam cannot be blamed. And furthermore, what I wanted to complain is that the other guy, the second caller that you had, Mr. Abbas, he looked to be very well versed in
Mr. Muslim,
Islam.
Mr. Muslim, sorry, I'm just going to cut you off before you move on to your comments on Mr. Abbas. So, am I right to understand after you spoke to your prayer leader in a mosque, you were told actually they are just differences in the dialects, and then also you approach another scholar who expressed there are differences in the word as a singular, plural, and in the meaning of those words. So overall, it's been expressed to you by second scholar, yes, there are Qurans contains different words, because there is a difference between singular word and plural word, as well as subject and object in the sentence. So that's my first point. So you've been confirmed that there are different Qurans. And then also in your first point regarding it is just the differences in dialects, I would love to know who is your scholar tells you there were dialects in 7th century at the time of Muhammad.
Could I just make a point with that, sister?
Yes, brother. Just jump in.
Okay, just to add on to that last point, Mr. Muslim, I don't want to add so much more. I want you to respond to what Sister Tuan asked you. But with what she said, the hadith about the differences in these different versions of the Quran, this hadith is reported by Omar and Hisham, and they're both from the Qurayshi tribe, but they were reciting the Quran differently. So just wanted to add that point in there in the response to the dialects. Where did you get this idea from that they're dialects?
Can I speak? Hello.
Yes, sir. Just speak a little bit louder for us.
Yeah, what I wanted to say is that it has been confirmed on my behalf that there are differences, but what I have listened to the third caller, he said that 95% of the Quran is the Hafs Quran that is being read all over the world. And what I wanted to say is that I do confirm that most of the people have been deceived. Even I have asked from my parents, my friends, and they also said that that's not possible. And I do hold that.
So just to be clear, when you say that that's not possible, can you just be very clear with us what you mean when you say that's not possible? So you went to your family, your parents, and you asked them about these different versions of the Quran, and what did they say was not possible?
They said that it's not possible, it's a challenge from God, and even if you copy the Quran, you won't be able to make any mistake. It's such a miracle.
Okay, and Sister Hartoon asked you a question about, you mentioned that these are dialects, and she also recapped the discussion that you had. So if you wanted to respond to the other points that she brought up as well.
Can you clarify me again? Is she asking me about the dialects?
So far, it has been confirmed to you, and then tonight you are confirming to us that there are differences. And then it has been expressed to you, I think you said 95% of the world uses Hafs Quran. And you are confirming that people are being deceived by the lies that Quran has been perfectly preserved. And then you want to kind of still bringing up the challenge, which Quran is from God, therefore it's supposed to be preserved, which is not being preserved. So my question was previously, where did you get the idea, or where did your guy who is leading the prayer express to you that these differences are just the dialects? So where did that idea come from, and where is it been expressed? Because how can there were dialects in 7th century? That's first point. And then second point, I did ask you regarding your confirmation on it's been confirmed that there are differences. There are singular words and plural words. There are like you versus they, or one versus more than one. So that those things are different. That's double confirmation for us. Can you bring reference for us on the dialects, please? Different dialects.
Actually, what he recited me a surah. He said that if you read the specific surah, I do not remember it now. If a person would read it in Sudan or Morocco, let's say, and if someone will recite it in Pakistan, you will see a major difference in recitation, but the meaning and overall context will be the same.
I would,
Okay.
so I disagree with you. If the recitation is different and they are written differently, probably they recited the Surah Fatiha. If that was the Surah Fatiha, actually you would remember. But anyway, there are differences. Are people who are reciting in Morocco and Algeria versus someone who is reciting in Pakistan. But yesterday, you read by your own eyes. They were written differently. There was extra word there, as well as therefore recitation is different, therefore meaning is different. So you have seen that by your own eyes. I want you to bring that up for us, as well as point me to this thing called dialect.
Yeah, you want to ask me about the dialects? What is meant by the differences in dialects?
You express that there are differences in dialects. I'm just like
Yeah,
point us to us in 7th century where that idea come from.
no, he said that the languages do get changed after some distances, and he said that the standardized version of Quran was standardized in 7 different dialects.
Okay, so where did that 7 different dialects come from? I don't know. So do you have any hadith, or is there anything in the Quran tells you about something called 7 different dialects?
No, he didn't quoted me any hadith, but it is, it is a renowned fact around the Muslim community
No,
that
I don't
Quran
know. I
is
don't know.
standardized in different.
It might be circulating in Muslim circle, but I want you to back up. Like you had 23 hours to do homework. So where is it that 7 dialect? Because I'm gonna put something on the screen, and Brother Jay probably will explain this better than me. There are Muslims are fighting with one another regarding the different versions recited. So there, 2 Muslims are reciting different version of the Quran, Surah 25, and Muhammad is telling them that Quran is revealed in 7 ahruf. He doesn't say Quran has been revealed in 7 different dialects. So I'll put that on the screen for you to see.
Yeah.
And then please point out where did idea of 7 dialect come from.
Can I jump to the YouTube, or you can show me in the Skype?
If I may just okay, so the hadith that she's going to show you on the screen, it's not up there yet, but it should be up there in, I would say, about 20 seconds. That's the delay that we have right now. So in about 20 seconds it'll show up on the screen. So what this hadith says, and there are different versions of this, but there's the one that speaks about Omar and Hisham. Omar and Hisham are from the same tribe, Quraysh. Now, Quraysh only had one dialect. So Omar heard Hisham reciting a passage that Sister June's going to bring up on the screen. It doesn't specify in this particular one that I'm referring to. He hears Hisham reciting a specific passage, and actually, no, it does specify. Sorry,
Yeah,
it does
Surah
specify.
Furqan.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it does specify. And so he hears him reciting it or saying it in a way that he has never heard before. But note, they're from the same tribe. They have the same dialect. So we can show you Muslim scholars who refute this idea that the 7 ahruf are 7 dialects. There are Muslim scholars who refute this idea. I think it's Islam QA. They have a fatwa on this very point, and they refute that point blank. They say exactly how I just said it. They make that same point, and there's no argument after that because they're from the same tribe. So I'm starting to see the screen now. I don't know, Mr. Muslim, if you can see it on your end.
No, I cannot see that. Or if I have to see that, I have to go to the YouTube. But
Okay,
it will
what
cause
I'm
some
gonna do is I'm going to...
Surah Al-Furqan, yeah, so it talks about Umar bin Khattab. I heard Hisham, so this is, so and again, they're from the same tribe. They're from the same tribe. So they have the same dialect. But he heard him reciting Surah Al-Furqan during the lifetime of Allah's apostle, and it says, I just have to scroll, and I listened to his recitation, noticed that he recited in several different ways. It disappeared. Hold on.
Yeah, sorry, but what I'm trying to do is, brother, I'm just trying to send the link to the chat for him to see it as well.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So basically, the point still stands. He was reciting the passage in a way that wouldn't have differed in dialect because they're from the same tribe. They speak the same dialect. So the difference was not in dialect. And the guy who you went to for the prayer, the imam, the one that you addressed for this topic, what Sister Hatun and I brought you were a difference between the readings, the qira'at, the readings. What this hadith is about the ahruf. Now the ahruf are not the qira'at. So this is a completely different thing. But we can talk about what the ahruf are and what they're not to some extent, but Muslims do not know what this refers to, but I'm sure we'll get into that.
Hello, can I say?
Do you see what Hatun sent you? Sister Hatun sent you?
Yes, I've seen it. Yeah, but let me tell you, the dialects were not one of the main bone of contention. It is. I have acknowledged that there are differences, and I have seen scholars saying that, and it is a very prevalent view in the Muslim world that Quran cannot be changed. And about the dialects, I can further research on that.
Okay, Mr. Muslim, I made this point a few times. I just want you to respond specifically to this point. This hadith, Omar and Hisham are both from Quraysh. There's only one dialect of the Quraysh. That's the tribe. The Quraysh is a tribe. Muhammad is from this tribe. Omar is from this tribe. Hisham is from this tribe. There's only one dialect. So Omar heard Hisham reciting it differently than how he learned it. So it can't be dialects because they're from the same tribe. They spoke the same dialect. Can you just respond to that directly?
Yes, what can I say? It's a very uncomfortable position that you have put me in. So I like to concede this point, and just what I want to say is that what I want to complain you is that why didn't you
hold on before you go to your complaints? We want to make clear. Once again, you went to your imam, and Sister Hatun, if you can emphasize on this, please. He went to his imam again, and he found out that the information that his imam told him was not correct. His imam told him that it's different dialects, and now we're finding out he's in an uncomfortable position, and he concedes the point. It's not about dialects. So you keep going to the imams, and we're telling you, please don't go to the scholars. Please don't go to the imams because they keep lying to you. So we want to show you the truth of what Islam actually teaches, and then you'll see that what you were taught is not true. And then we want that to pave the way, door open, to show you the truth, the gospel of who Jesus is. But first, we have to start here. And this is where we're at right now. So, Sister Hatun, if you wanted to recap that point, please.
So, you had 23 hours to do homework, which I am grateful that you went people and then you asked very basic questions. I find it's very much disturbing while we are asking you very basic question. You identified yourself kind of in the lines of Quran only Muslim last night. Now we are asking you very basic question on how can you be Quran only Muslim and put your trust in the Quran while there is a problem in the preservation of the Quran. By default, I assumed that you checked it out. Why do you trust the Quran? And this is very well known hadith where two Muslims are fighting with one another, and those are not Muslims who you just see on the street or passing by or eating falafel or biryani or anything. Those are, one of them is father-in-law of Muhammad, fighting with another Muslim regarding the different version of the Quran. Surah 25 is being recited differently. that tells me, not that tells me actually, hadith according to Muhammad, your prophet tells me in his time there were different versions of the Quran. In the time of Muhammad, different versions of the Quran. So yesterday we showed you that you've been lied to. Today you are calling in the intention of confirming that people have been deceived, and yes, there are different Qurans. So you are confirming that yes, you've been lied to, and you went back to people again to ask, like the people who lied to you. I want to bring you back to your prophet, and according to your prophet, there were different Qurans in his time. Okay? Today, you are from Pakistan. If you go to Algeria, your Quran, the way you are reciting the Quran is not acceptable in Algeria. In Algeria, Hafs Quran is being banned. So, therefore, basic question comes again. While there are different Arabic Qurans, which one is the
Yes,
correct one? And how do you know
yes.
that?
I do acknowledge that it's very problematic, and I never knew about it. And I have to give it to you that whatever you are saying is correct, but I don't understand that the same scholars that are accepting that there are differences, why they are still Muslims and why they are still defending it. So I have to thoroughly go through their points and see that okay, the Muslims have been deceived. The traditional narrative is false,
Okay,
but I think what I am judging is that the Islam and Quran shouldn't be blamed over it
okay.
because
Let me just step in, Mr. Muslim. Let me just step in. So right now, for you, as you are agreeing with me, doesn't help me in any form or any shape, because I am already saved. I am already saved from the wrath of God by the blood of Lord Jesus Christ with his death and his resurrection. You are not saved. So therefore, for us to agree on, yes, you've been deceived, is not helping anyone. For you to agree with me that your scholars are lied to you is not helping me in any form or any shape, and it is not even helping you either. Okay? So you've been lied to. You've been lied to. Then let's move on to the Quran. You stated yesterday that Allah states in the Quran He is going to preserve His book. Okay? And today, your scholars and hadiths are telling you that Quran is not being perfectly preserved. That means not only your scholars are lying to you, but also Allah is lying according to your criteria. So what are you going to do about it?
well, I think you are pushing me now, and it's too early to make any judgment. It's just been a week that I have been exposed to this whole discourse, and I have been listening to Haris Sultan, and he has some strong points. And do you know about Haris Sultan actually?
Yeah, but we don't encourage you to listen to non-Christians. We want you to listen to Christians on this topic, because where they're
He's
going
an
to lead you afterwards. I know he's an
let
atheist. That's why I'm suggesting you listen to Sister Hatun, listen to brother Sarah International, listen to Sam Shamon, listen to the people who know Islam and they're Christians. Don't go to the atheists. We don't want you to go to atheism. We want you to go to the truth, to Jesus. If I could just say that this conversation reminds me, there's a lot of striking similarities between what's going on here and what happened in another famous interview. You're saying things like the standard narrative is, let's just paraphrase what you're saying. The standard narrative has holes in it, and you're also saying don't push me.
Yeah,
Don't
that's where
push
I
me.
was gonna pick
So,
up. Yeah.
yeah. So this reminds me of a very famous interview, and I want you to know that the position you're in is a position of where you're going to have to choose now. You know that this side is lying to you, and this side, meaning us right now, we're telling you the truth. So where are you going to go?
So J means your
very
side. your side
let
is lying to you, and
hello.
Muhammad is telling you there are problems in your Quran. Your scholars are in West are telling you there are problems in the Quran. No one is pushing anyone. My hands are up here. You are like, I don't know, thousands miles away from me. So no one is pushing anyone. I'm just saying, now you notice that you've been lied to. It's not only human beings are lying to you, but Quran itself is not able to keep its promises, as well as Allah is not able to keep his promise. So what are you going to do about it? That's a very basic question.
Well, I'm still not ready to make any stance, but let me tell you, I know where you are going. If I was born a Muslim, and if Islam is not the truth, then there is absolutely no chance that Christianity can be truth.
Okay. Let's not jump there yet. Okay, let's not go there yet. We can show you that Christianity is the truth, and God's Spirit will ultimately have to reveal that to you. But we can give you all the evidence to show that it's the truth. But first, let's deal with Islam, because this is where you're at right now, and you're at the stage where you're saying there are holes in the narrative, and you're saying don't push me. That's a good place to be, and it means you're headed in the right direction. So what we want to do now is we want to press you on this question gently. We want to push back like someone did to someone else who was interviewing. He kept pushing back. We want to keep pushing back. So in the Quran, it says that Allah preserves the dhikr, the reminder. And you said that this is the Quran. So according to your understanding that Allah is the one who preserves the Quran, that's how you understand it. We're asking you, if he didn't preserve the Quran, because there are many different Qurans, there are many different versions of the Quran, he didn't do that, then how can you trust this God?
Well, to be honest, I have nothing to say right now. But what I am going to complain is that I think you are just doing a propaganda. The other guy that came
Hold
on.
on. You're accusing us of propaganda, but everything that we've said so far, we've shown you evidence. We've given you proof. The propaganda, hold on, Mr. Muslim, hold on. Mr. Muslim, we just can't both talk at once. I know I interrupted you, but the propaganda is coming from the imams. The propaganda is coming from the shayukh. The propaganda is coming from the Muslims. They're the ones who are telling you that the Quran's been perfectly preserved and there's no differences. That's the propaganda. We're not giving you propaganda. We're giving you the truth with evidence and proof.
No, the propaganda that I am asking, saying is that the other person that came yesterday, why didn't you showed the same thing to him? He is well versed in this whole argument, and he could have challenged you more better. I acknowledge
We're
that I
still
am
waiting
not.
for the names. We're still waiting for the names.
So
Once he okay.
let me
Sorry.
just make a point. I don't know you, sir. I don't know your heart. I really don't know your intention of calling in. But I just want to bring up something to your attention. You've been lied to. You've been lied by your mom. You've been lied by your imams. You've been lied by your scholars. And people, Muslim community is being lied to. You've been deceived. Muslim community is being deceived. And maybe you can just turn that to blind eye in the intention. Oh yeah, people do crazy things. People lie to one another. But Brother Jay is bringing up your Surah 15 verse 9, which you expressed to us yesterday, that Allah gives promises and he keeps his promises. Allah promises that he is going to preserve the Quran. So if Quran is not being preserved, which you confirm to us, you express that in this call, you are confirming this to us, you are already pushed into something which is being forced on you. Okay? If I were you, instead of stating, oh, that doesn't make Christian faith true, that wouldn't be the line I would pick up. The reason for that is because right now you need to be concerned where you are. Once you identified Allah as a liar, or failed to keep his promises or lied, or whoever put Surah 15 verse 9, there are steps we will follow, and then we will move forward, because since yesterday I'm expecting you to give me the references as you were getting ready to attack the Christian scripture. But I find it is very dishonest, even though I don't know you, but I'm just reading this from between the lines, that once you noticed Allah is a liar, your sheikhs, your imams, people around you is a liar, it's not helpful to choose the next line as, okay, let me attack your religion.
Right.
That's not helpful. That's not helpful, because there is consequences. And the book, like, you are Quran only Muslim in a sense, that how you put together yesterday, and you are picking and choosing hadiths as you want, but you can't even answer the basic question on how did you end up the Quran in today's version, which is recited by 95% of the Muslim world, or 90% of the Muslim world, as a Hafs Quran, which has nothing to do with Muhammad. Those are very, very basic questions. Like, same questions when you ask, oh, I pay you £10, give me £8 back. It's, what is the difference between them? What is the change between them? Or would you like your tea with milk or with sugar? Such a, like, in that sense, very, very basic questions. We didn't even touch the philosophical mistakes in Allah, or all that basic mistakes in Islam. Just very simple question on the book you claim to be following. And you can't just cry back and then say, oh, you are pushing me, it is propaganda. No. All it has been done is just asking you very simple questions about very simple thing you believe. So,
Well,
what are your
I
next
no,
steps?
I think you are tricking me, because what I see, that why didn't you ask the Muslim brother that came yesterday? Why didn't you question him about that? Why didn't you got the
We
answer?
did. We did.
Because you know that, because what I'm thinking is that
Sir,
he knows the better
your
answer.
imam tricked you. Your scholars tricked you. So that's why we're telling. We're not the ones that are tricking you. We're telling you the truth. You're
No,
you're
no,
accusing us of tricking you, but you told us that your scholars lied to you. They're tricking you. The Muslims are the ones that are tricking you. Allah is trying to trick you in the Quran. We're trying to show you that this is not the religion of God. And we're not tricking you. We're doing this because we want to show you the truth.
you are tricking me, because I think that you know that I can be I do not have a good ground to stand on, because I'm not an expert to it, and I do not have much information.
But
But the other
you have a brain to see. God gave you a brain to see. God gave you a brain, and you can think and you can determine this is logical, this is not logical, this makes sense, this doesn't make sense. God gave you this brain. You don't need to go and give that brain to a scholar or to an imam or to us. You don't need to do it to us either. I'm not telling you to just blindly take what we say. We're providing you evidence and proof. When the Muslims give you this, they're the ones giving you the propaganda. They're the ones who are tricking you. They're not giving you evidence for what they're saying. We are giving you evidence. It's on the screen. You read it yourself with your own eyes. So you can say that you're being tricked, but I know the position that you're in. I've seen Muslims in this position before, and I understand it's hard for you to admit this, but you're in a very hard place right now. And I think you're very close to leaving Islam, but maybe you don't want to admit it. And
no,
this is very problematic for you.
no,
Can
no,
can I
I'm
just
not,
make a
because
point?
I think it would be very stupid of me to make any judgment based on just one talk. And just why don't you give me a simple answer, that why didn't you show the same thing to the other
Okay.
Muslim brother?
Let let
Why
let
didn't
let
you
let me just make
get
a
the
point,
of
Mr.
him?
Muslim. Let me just make a point. First of all, every individual is different. Your area of expertise or your area of being lay Muslim is very much different than yesterday's caller. We did engage with yesterday's caller on this topic, and we are waiting him to give answer. And he expressed this morning that he's got family engagements, he's not able to join us. So we are waiting answer from him. It seems that you didn't watch that live stream. That's absolutely fine. But the problem is,
I watched, hello, no, I watched the stream yesterday, you didn't ask him about that. He looked to
Okay, let me just correct you. First of all, this is not Sister Atun. Just one moment, Mr. Muslim. This is not Sister Atun's first time speaking with him. They've had this conversation before. He doesn't believe that the other Qur'ans that we showed you, he doesn't believe that those are actual real Qur'ans. He thinks that those are fabrications. So he's in a very different position than you. He only accepts the Hafs Qur'an. That's the only one he accepts. We showed you yesterday, and you went to your imam, and your imam said, like in Sudan and in Algeria and in Morocco, they recite the Quran differently. So that means that the ones that you go to, your imam, for example, he accepts these different versions of the Quran. The guy from yesterday, he doesn't accept those versions. So it's a different argument. We have a different argument with him, and his position is very easy to disprove. And Sister Atun put him in a corner yesterday, asking him for names. He's not able to give us names. So you're in a very different position than he's in, and so we're not giving you hard questions and giving him easy questions. You have two different positions. That's the only thing. No one's trying to trick you. I promise. We're not trying to trick you.
Main reason for that is because we try to represent who our God is, and our God doesn't trick people. So, but
yes, our God does not do makr. He does not do makr.
Yeah. So Mr. Muslim,
are trying to convert
Mr. Muslim, just a moment. Mr. Muslim, just a moment. So, yesterday when we were talking, you explained that in somehow you do not follow all the hadith, correct? Quran is your ultimate authority. You follow the Quran, and you don't follow all the hadith after we kind of pushed you a little bit. Is that still the case? I'll take that silent as yes. So
I'm not going to give right now because it's too early, and to be honest, I think I would look stupid if I changed my position. And
no. I'm not asking you to change your position. I'm just trying to understand. So yesterday you were denying the hadith, okay? You were almost like, the way I understood, you were Quran only Muslim, and then we did have a quick discussion on that. Right now you are expressing to me that you are lay Muslim, okay? So when you, in one point in your life, let's say you are in your 40s or in your 30s, one point in your life when you decided you are going to be Quran only Muslim, you needed to think and get out that kind of mindset of being lay Muslim. So
I'm just 24. Let me tell you, I'm not very well versed, okay?
Sorry?
He said he's not very well versed, but you don't need to be well versed to make decisions.
Yeah, I'm trying to ask him what was his criteria when he decided to become a Quran only Muslim. Why did he become Quran only Muslim? Because Pakistan is mainly Hanafi school. Why are you not like jumping in that club? But what is it like? How did you make your decision that you become Quran only?
Well, the scholar that I follow is Javed Ahmed Gandhi Saab, and he is also a teacher of Salim Shahzad